something else. Tell me movies.
Hello and welcome back to Something Else Tele and Movies. As you can see, it's a little bit of a different scenery today. I'm actually in Burnham-on-Sea with my family as a little breakaway, a little holiday. So we're on the seaside, except it's hammering it down, basically. I mean, it's not doing it now. I mean, you can kind of see out the window. But last night, the rain, it came down. British weather. Don't know why I did the Maloik sign. Anyway. So, let me fill you in a bit. Fill in, not fill in. That's weird. But, they've all gone swimming. So I've come down with Sam, Ted, his grandparents. And they've all gone swimming. I was supposed to join them. But on the way down to Burnham-on-Sea, we stopped off at the services and... Now, I know it's not technically service food. Well, it is because it's there. Excuse me. But I had a packet of chicken on a stick. And I had two of them. One was just like ordinary like roast chicken. The other one was Chinese chicken. And last night, the toilet loved me. It did. It was horrendous. So for that, I'm not going swimming today. Instead, I thought I'd try and do a podcast. But I'm slightly congested as well. I don't know if it's just the sea air. I don't know if it's the fact that, obviously, generally on the seaside, it's fresher air, supposedly. So I don't know if that's just bringing all my congestion out because I was ill a couple of weeks ago. So who knows? But enough of me and my dramas. Let's get on with today's episode. But before I get on to that episode, because it's all about Tele and movies, let's talk about Matrix, Resurrection. Have you seen that trailer yet? I mean, I'm not going to get into the details of it. It looked good. I don't know how I feel about it. It seems like it's filmed in such a different way to the original three. Obviously, he was like 20 years old or something like that. But I don't know. I didn't get that feel that I got when I watched the original trilogy. So yeah, but I don't know how I feel about that. We'll see. I mean, Keanu Reeves just looks like John Wick, let's be honest. In everything he does, he's John Wick now because he has long hair and the beard thing, apart from Bill and Ted 3. But then he shouldn't have shaved that off because he looked like Snape. But anyway, today's episode is all about Easter eggs in films. So, this was all because I watched the... a few weeks ago, they released the new... Was it No Way Home? The new Spider-Man film? And obviously, leading up to that, there's a big hype about the Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, and Tom Holland all being in it. So 3 Spider-Men, essentially. And then the trailer dropped. We all knew about Doc Ock being in there. And I think Electro, was it Electro? Jamie Foxx's character. We all knew about them being in there. But when the trailer dropped, wow. You know, the Sinister Six, let's be honest. Then there was a big thing about... I mean, I won't go too much into it because if you haven't watched it, I'm ruining it for you right now. But basically, there was a lot of... I don't want to say Easter egg. Well, it could be Easter eggs if you class them as that. But there was a lot of small detail in there that, unless you're like an avid Marvel Universe fan, like the cinematic universe that is, you would never have noticed it. Like, my wife didn't notice any of them, apart from like the main ones, like, you know, Doc Ock. But it got me thinking about Easter eggs that I quite enjoy, like small Easter eggs. Like, we all know what Easter eggs are, aren't they? I've even wrote it down on the trusty Pokédex book. I forgot what it was called then. So, Easter eggs, they're hidden references, inside jokes, plots and clues to the film or films previous. If I sneeze, I am sorry. I'm going to do it now. My God. So, I've listed 5 that I thought were pretty awesome. I might list some others, just kind of like throwing them out there sort of thing. So my first one is if you've watched Justice League, but the Zack Snyder cut, the better version, obviously. He's actually in it. Now, there's a part where I can't exactly remember where it is, but it pans from a coffee shop, and it's very brief. But as it pans, you see someone sitting at the desk, like at a table by the window, in typical Zack Snyder fashion, shirt and a waistcoat, writing down something, and it's him. And the reason was because while filming, they went to the coffee shop and he fell in love with it. So just kind of threw an Easter egg into the coffee shop, really, and the fact that he loved their coffee. Or cake, who knows. But it's a lot. It's quite funny how many Easter eggs involving directors are in it. Like, not so much an Easter egg, I guess, but like Titanic, when Leonardo DiCaprio is painting Kate Winslet. That's James. Was it James Cameron that directed that film? Either way, he's the one drawing it. So the hands you see drawing are James Cameron's. Another one is in Quentin Tarantino's Pulp Fiction. You know the part where... No, not Pulp Fiction, sorry. Inglourious Basterds, but the part where the actress is being strangled. That's Quentin Tarantino. I just realised, like, because I'm using camera, obviously, because I do video and audio because I'm so smart. But I just realised, like, my hands are, like... my head is further back in the dark compared to where my hands are, so, like, I'm two different colours right now. But yeah, Quentin Tarantino strangling a woman because he was the only one he trusted to do it. That's amazing. There's another one, another Easter egg in Star Wars The Force Awakens, I think, like, the seventh film, like the first newer remake, the one with, you know, Han Solo. I won't ruin it, but my tone should give you a clue. But there's a part where the stormtroopers... Now, I don't know if this one is true, but there's a part where... Oh, I forgot her name. What's her name? Rey? I want to call her Rey. When she realises she can use the Force and everything, and one of the stormtroopers is Daniel Craig. That's pretty cool. But another one is in The Departed. Now, that film is amazing. You know, some of the deaths in there you just don't expect. But do ya? Because just like, excuse me, in Fight Club, where pretty much in every scene there's a Starbucks cup, in The Departed, you'll always see... I'm going to have to do the Black Panther thing now. You see an X when someone's about to die. So there's a shot where I think they're walking past like a corridor or something, and like the way the beams are, it forms an X. In the elevator, there's an X. The window, there's an X on it. So whenever someone's about to die, there's an X. That's amazing. Here's another cool Easter egg. Completely, I mean, it's television, but it's more sports. Whenever Ric Flair lost, he would wear red. I think. Whenever he was going to win, he wore blue. Something like that. But yeah, I thought that was quite a cool one. This one's a cool one. I do like this one. Number 3 on my list is Tron, the original. I can't remember the names, which is really bad. I should have really researched that. And my internet's crap here, so I can't even like Google it. But there's a part where they're looking at like some sort of computer interface. And you can see Pac-Man. Yeah, you just see Pac-Man. I mean, Tron is a pretty brilliant film, let's be honest. I mean, was it like 79 it came out, or 81? And yeah, there's a part where you can just see Pac-Man in, like, I think it's the part where, I think it's just on like the side parts. I don't think it's actually him moving, but you see Pac-Man. But kind of going on to this, because we've already spoke about Star Wars and Daniel Craig, and number 4 is Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Now, that film, if you really think about it, is kind of backwards, because I'm pretty sure Big Bang Theory touched on this, that no matter what he did anyway, like Indiana Jones, he just kind of prolonged the inevitable, because the Germans already got the Ark. Then he steals it and then they get it back, so he really didn't need to be there, because they were going to kill themselves anyway, because as soon as you open it, look into it, face melts. So he didn't really need to do anything. He literally wasted his own time and cost some friends' lives. Is that the film where the guy eats the fly as well? I want to say yeah. Anyway, in this one, when the Ark's being raised out of the box, I'm not lying. There's like it's really small, but it's really quick. But on the side where all the patterns are, on the hieroglyphics, whatever you want to call them, the markings, you can see from Star Wars R2-D2 and C-3PO. That is amazing. I'm not lying. Literally clear as day. Google it right now. It's amazing. Google it now. I'm telling you. I'm going to finish my list with this one. Have I got any more? No, I don't. I'm going to finish my list with this one because it's amazing. Now, I've already spoke about this film, Pulp Fiction. Now, in that film, I won't quote it completely. Well, I won't quote it because I'll butcher it. There's only one man who can quote it, and that's Samuel L. Jackson. He does this big big speech in, I think it's like the opening credits or whatever. It's like when they're in the cafe, and he does this whole thing about the path of the righteous man. Now, he also plays a really cool character in possibly one of the greatest franchises of our time, which is the Avengers, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He plays Nick Fury. And in is it Winter Soldier? Yeah, in the Winter Soldier, on his tombstone, Nick Fury's tombstone, that is, it says, "The path of a righteous man." Now, that is probably the best nod to something he's done ever. Like, how that man doesn't have Oscars is beyond me. But I thought that was brilliant. You know, it's little things like that I really enjoy. Like, it's a nod to the film, isn't it? It's a nod to say, oh, you know, sweet. And it got me thinking about, like, the films I enjoy, or there's little things like that. And I'm like, what other Easter eggs are there? Like, you get loads in games. Maybe I should do one on games. I don't know. But like a nod, one of the best, I'll say, and I keep saying this now, but is was it 2006 it came out, the Doom film with The Rock and Carl Urban in it, and there's a part where Urban takes, what's his name, Reaper, I think he's called in it, where he takes the shot of something. I'm aware I just did the wanker sign, but he takes a shot, and he becomes like, you know, the Doom guy, becomes fucking awesome, but. They do this whole scene in first person, which is a nod to the game, because the game's a first person shoot 'em up, really. And it's brilliant. What other nods are there? I can't even think of any right now, but like, there's just nods to so much in movies, and you think, how amazing is that? Like, Quentin Tarantino, it's not necessarily an Easter egg, but it's I mean, let's be fair, Quentin Tarantino and his universe is mental, because every film interlinks. But there's a part that I can't remember what they're called. The cigarettes, Apple something, but they're cigarettes. Like, didn't he make them? And they're in every one of his films. Into the point of Once a Time in Hollywood, where they do what do you call it? I can't remember his character. Leonardo DiCaprio's character. He does this whole thing where he's what's it called? I'm just being stared at by random people. He does this. It's like an advert for these cigarettes, and it's brilliant. But I'm trying to think of Easter eggs now, and I can't think of any. Like, my brain's gone. I should have really wrote more down. What was it? It's gonna be. I mean, you know what? I always ask for like input, but tell me some of your favourite Easter eggs. Like, I absolutely love them. I just thought of one. Now, I'm hoping anyone watching this is aware of the Chuck Norris facts. Like, I need to think of an appropriate one now. Chuck Norris doesn't do push-ups. He just pushes the world away. But in Expendables 2, the better movie. Now, me and my dad always argued about these films because like, it's just action for the sake of action. It's just gore, it's just violence. And I'm like, yes, it's literally an Easter egg within itself. It's a nod to 80s action, just over the top. And there's like one scene that really highlights that, where they go to this little village, and this is where Chuck Norris is in it. And there's a bad guy that walks in, and Sylvester Stallone's like, another one. And they, 5 of them just gun this dude down, and the CG is really bad, but it explodes essentially. But there's a part where Chuck Norris appears, and they're doing these quotes, and they're like, "Oh my God, it's you! I heard that you was once bit by like a python." And then Chuck Norris goes, "Yeah, and after 5 long, agonizing days, the python died." And you're like, he just referenced himself for a joke that most people know, and that was brilliant. Wolverine, X-Men, they have lots of references. So when Wolverine in the first film in 2001, did he come out? There's a part where he finally gets his leather black suit thing, and they're in the plane, and he's moaning about it, and then Cyclops says, "What did you expect? Yellow spandex? Hey, because that's what I used to wear." And then the subtle reference in excuse me, I think it's the Wolverine, the second film of his like standalone trilogy thing, where I don't think it was in the film. I think it's like a deleted scene or an extra scene. But where he's on the plane and the woman gives him the case and he opens it and sure enough it's got the yellow mask, the gloves and everything. That's an awesome nod to a film. Are there any more? I can't think. Really can't think. But the references are brilliant. Easter eggs even. And I think it's just really cool like how they can have that inside joke. Or, you know, plots to the film. And it's like it just makes it like what's that film? Shutter Island. Like there's loads of I don't know if you'd class them as Easter eggs, but like there's loads of clues. There's loads of, I guess it would be an Easter egg because that's what I said. It's like clues and plot twists. But like, excuse me, if you've never watched Shutter Island, watch it. It's a fantastic film. But there's a part where, I mean, I'll give you a quick overview. So Leonardo DiCaprio is like this detective, and he's got his partner, and they're interviewing about this crime that's happened with a family who gets killed, wife and children sort of thing. Turns out to be Leonardo DiCaprio. Sorry, spoiler alert. But what happens is when he's interviewed, like I clocked the film straight off, but when he's interviewing some of the people in this, like, I don't want to say mental asylum, but in a similar thing, whenever he's interviewing them, when the camera goes to him, there's always a guard behind him. But when his partner's doing the interviewing, no one stands behind him. And it's all because his partner isn't really a detective. It's actually like his, like, I don't want to say doctor, but it's like his carer, for a better word. And that was amazing. Another clue / Easter egg is when they first hit the island and you have to hand your gun in and everything. He hands his in, finally unclips the holster and everything, but his partner can't. And I thought that was really cool because how can he not? But yeah, I love Easter eggs. I mean, it's just when, like, I know, it's brilliant. And especially when films know what they're doing with it. Like, some of them are hidden and you've really got to search for it. But other times it's just like, yeah, we know exactly what we're doing. Like with, oh God, what's the film? This episode is literally me just going, oh no, what's the film? Oh, it was not even a film. It's a friggin' kid show, Fireman Sam. Again, not technically, well, it is an Easter egg because you've got to find it. But in the new Fireman Sam, because it's all animated, like 3D and, you know, all that nonsense. But in Chief Steele's office, there's a picture hanging on the wall of him and his team. But it's from when, like, I would watch it as a kid and, like, you know, older people. So it's like the puppets, and it's there, and that's an Easter egg. And I was like, that's bloody brilliant. But I'm gonna leave it there because I'm gonna probably be sitting here for ages now going But please let me know what you think are good Easter eggs. Any of your favourites. I might do one on the gaming channel. You never know. I mean, you know, there are about 4,000 channels that do this. But anyway, I'm gonna leave it at that. Thank you very much for putting up with me, and I will see you soon. Bye.